Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers just lost the game against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta, 129-121. And Trae Young really did go off, 36 points, 12 assists. Onyeka Okongwu had a massive game for the Hawks. Lou Williams played really good. DeAndre Hunter played really well on the defensive end. You just want to give credit to the opponent. Lou Williams was very helpful for them. Everybody, really, the whole team was good on that side. Bogdanovich hit some big shots. Clint Capella had some strong plays down there. So for me, just giving credit to the opponent is the most important thing. Their coach was making the right decisions down the stretch, even though the Lakers had a huge advantage throughout 3 quarters. Ultimately, in the 4th quarter, he put Lou Williams in, who has been playing extremely well as of late, for which I didn't know. The Hawks had been on a 6-game winning streak, which I didn't know as well. Last I had checked, they were struggling. So they just seem to have gotten their stuff together, and that strength that I was telling you guys about in terms of them being, in my opinion, the deepest team in the league, reared its ugly head against us because, quite frankly, they were able to put their bench in and really dominate the Los Angeles Lakers. Good rotation patterns, good defensive play, and ultimately, hustle, winning the 50-50 battles, winning the boards, getting on the inside, scoring in our paint. Those were the things that ultimately led to why the Hawks were able to get the victory tonight despite being down. So the most credit and the most anything deserving, anyone who watches me needs to understand that the Hawks were more deserving of the win today because of how hard they played and how well they coached. So that's first and foremost. Now, as far as our team's concerned, I want to give so much credit to Malik Monk for keeping us going. He was phenomenal from behind the arc. I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, it was 8 of 14. He was striking them, and most of the misses were the last couple that he took. He was really, really shooting the ball very, very well, and bounced back from his injury with a vengeance. So for sure, Malik Monk is the guy that I'm most appreciative of in this game today. Anthony Davis was able to help us as well. But the thing about Anthony was that he was kind of playing outside of the paint, and they were able to take advantage of the fact that we were just playing a lot of small ball out there. THT was really shooting well, even though it didn't show up in the plus minus. He was 4 for 5 and only had like 10 minutes out there. Dwight Howard, in the 12 minutes, I think it was 12 minutes he was given. He rebounded the ball some, did some things that helped us. Ultimately was missed out there for the majority of the game. What else? Our boy Austin Reeves did some good things, even though his 3-point shot still isn't falling. He's able to do some of the things that we need him to do, played some good defense and stretches, things like that. Stanley Johnson, I was happy that coach played Stanley Johnson a lot of minutes, even though he didn't put Stanley in positions to really be successful, because most of the time he was guarding somebody twice his size. But ultimately, the fact that he was able to get good minutes tonight, hitting some shots, doing things that we need him to do, playing hard, that was very helpful. Carmelo Anthony hit some shots tonight. He did some good things, also not so good things. Russell Westbrook had some very good numbers tonight, scored the ball, assisted the ball very well, rebounded very well, but ultimately the turnovers, some of the turnovers that he had were some of the more horrible turnovers you'll see. He continued some of that stuff, so that wasn't very helpful. But I think the Lakers played a good first half, second half for the most part. I think what I saw, honestly, was in the first quarter, I saw a little bit of that I'm ready to go home after a long road trip kind of energy. Guys weren't really playing defense. You saw a situation where Carmelo Anthony let John Collins shoot the ball straight over him without even having his hands up. Like stuff like that kind of happened in the first half. You saw certain plays where guys were getting hustled. And you starting to pick it up. For the majority of the time, our defensive intensity wasn't where it needed to be in that first half. However, what we did see was Malik Monk being hot, and Anthony Davis helping us as well offensively in some key areas. At the end of that second quarter, it got really interesting because the Lakers ended up going up by 11, but it was a bad sequence for the Hawks where they just kept turning the ball over. They weren't getting the calls. It was a lot of confusion. It wasn't a lot of cohesive play out there. And I was like, you know what? In my head, I was thinking, a lot of that, if that's what got us the 11-point lead, we can't rely upon that. Because it really did come down to just Tony Brothers giving us calls, them throwing the ball off their leg, turning the ball over, stuff like that. It was like, it wasn't our play that got us the lead, in my opinion. It was more so just Malik Monk's hot play and them not really running the greatest stuff in that first half. But on the third quarter, it was kind of a situation where I wasn't able to really see it. I came in like the 8-minute mark of the third quarter, so we were still up by 7, but we started giving the game back. And what really did it honestly, was just us continuing to try to run small against guys like Onyeka Okongwu, Clint Capella, and John Collins. They were able to use their size advantage over us. Onyeka Okongwu had one of the best lob jams you'll see. I think it was Trey Young that gave it to him, but that's going to be a highlight you see for a long time. And it was just a very, very frustrating game if you're a Los Angeles Lakers fan. Very frustrating. Ultimately, it just came down to coaching. I have tried to give all of the praise and credit to the Hawks first before I start ranting about Frank. I wanted to get Malik Monk out there to say how well he shot. You know what I'm saying? There's all the things that need to be said before you start ranting. But at the end of the day, here it goes. Frank Vogel must be fired. How many times do I have to watch this man put terrible lineups on the floor before he loses his job? I'm not one of those people that say, oh, I don't believe in people losing their job. No, if a guy sucks at what he does and he's a millionaire, he needs to be fired. I think he'll be fine. Seriously, he's a millionaire. He'll be fine. We don't have to worry about him losing his job. Him losing his job is not like Joe Blow down the street losing their job. Him losing his job means that he'll be able to go off and be on the beach somewhere, probably apply for another position and actually get it. So I'm not, fire him. Do it. Do it now. Seriously. Save us the pain and struggle. I don't care what happens in regards to our team. Just make sure he ain't the guy coaching the team anymore. I don't understand, how much ineptitude and stupidity do you have to see before you realize, yo, this guy's a problem. We need to sit him down. We need to fire him. It's just that simple, man. And you go out there in the fourth quarter when the game is on the line and you put in a player by the name of Avery Bradley who literally didn't do anything for us in all the minutes that he was given. When I saw Avery Bradley down in the first quarter, this is what would happen. Avery Bradley would come down, miss a shot, and then Trey Young would blow past him and lay the ball up. Frank would call a timeout and sit Avery Bradley down. He'll do that again, rinse and repeat. Maybe 7 minutes later, he'll put Avery Bradley back in the game, and the same thing would happen. And would you believe it? He put Avery Bradley in down the stretch, and you know what happened? It's more of the same. I don't want to blame all this on Avery Bradley because he wasn't the biggest problem we had. The biggest problem was the overall issue that this coach chose to go with a small ball lineup in a situation where our team was obviously going against some very tough bigs who could out-rebound us and do a lot of different things, including hit the mid-range shot for which John Collins was able to repeatedly do over and over again in the first half. It became a situation where it's like even the Hawks announcers were saying, you really should go back to John Collins because they're not guarding him. And he was right. John Collins had 14 points in the first half. I don't think he missed it all because all he had to do was just continue to take mid-range jumpers and we just let him hit them. So the defensive effort tonight was not where it needed to be. And then down the stretch, we just got out-coached by somebody who knew what he was doing. It was a situation where he put Trey Young on the floor and Lou Williams on the floor and Bogdanovich on the floor and Gallinari on the floor and then had Onyeka Okongwu down there. And it's like all that spreading, you got to pick and choose what you're going to do. Our defensive rotations were slow, and ultimately we just got beat. We got beat by a team who just played a smarter floor game. Honestly, just a smarter floor game. Even though we had the lead, as I said, that was skewed by the fact that it was just a bad sequence of 4 or 5 plays in a row where we just got all the calls and the turnovers came in our direction. Other than that, it was just Malik Monk. If you remove Malik Monk's 3-point shooting, it wasn't a whole lot to like out there outside of Anthony Davis being available to us. I mean, Carmelo Anthony hit a couple shots, but for every shot he'd make, it would be a defensive lapse we'd have as a team. It was just like, you're running Stanley Johnson out there, and while I like that, Stanley Johnson's not going to guard a man that's 6'10" or 7 feet. You had him in situations where they kept lobbing the ball over and over and over again, easy lobs on both sides, actually. Both teams lobbed the ball quite a bit. We did in the first half. We were able to take advantage of that. We got away from it, and they picked up where we left off. Then they started lobbing the ball over the place. It was just like, I don't want to say that it was only Frank that cost us the lead, because honestly, it was the good play of the Hawks that really got the victory tonight. I think the Hawks pushed the right buttons. They played good defense. They shot the ball well enough. And it was just how they put certain players on the floor and win. You could tell the difference between a coach that's good at what he does and a coach that's Frank Vogel, because you clearly see that's what happened out there. We put the wrong players on the floor, and sporadic reasons, you'll have a guy down there, he's not making any shots, while a guy like THT who barely missed is not playing at all. You got situations where you're getting lobs on your head and rebounds over you, and you look over, you see Dwight Howard in warm-ups. It's just, these are the type of things that make the team worse. It's not just the roster. You know, I promise you guys, as a Laker fan who's had his eyes on this team the entire time, yeah, this is not a great roster. But it's not as bad as some of the rosters that we've done better with, because we make it look worse with the decision-making of our coach and the rotations that he ultimately chooses and the lack of offensive intellect that he provides. He doesn't have any. You know, he's the kind of guy who will allow Russell Westbrook to take a last-second shot. I mean, what kind of coach would do that? Like, seriously. You know, there were situations, and I got to say, man, after that big lob that I'm referring to, Russell Westbrook came down and quickly shot one of his mid-range bank shots, and it flew off into oblivion and into the hands of a Hawk, and they went back down there and scored. That lob put them up by 2. His bad shot early in the shot clock gave them the ball back, and they were able to further their lead. These are the type of things that Russell Westbrook is just going to do. You got to understand that his basketball IQ is not that of somebody who knows how not to do that. So you take that responsibility out of his hands. You don't let him be the guy that has the ball in his hands in situations like that. After that lob, you call a timeout. After the whole arena's going crazy. This guy comes down and jacks up a bad shot. I mean, within 2 or 3 seconds of the shot, it was like the type of thing that you do when you're trying to just say, I don't want to win, I'm just angry, and I just want to hurry up and do something stupid. That's exactly what Russell Westbrook did in that play. It's bad enough the whole arena's going crazy. This guy runs back down here and shoots a bad shot. So fast that you almost don't even have time to react to it. It's so fast and bad. By the time they had finished lobbing the ball, dunking it, they had the ball in their hands again because of that stupid crap. You think Frank will do something? Anything at all? Nope. Frank. Apparently this is what Frank wants to see. So, you know, I am getting to a point where it's hard to be respectful. You know what I mean? Because the frustration starts taking over. And then I start thinking like I really think. As to which it's a lot more bad words and it's a lot more colorful language. But I'm trying my very best because I know I'm on camera and, you know, this stuff stays in forever. But I'm telling you the truth, man. There's nothing more frustrating than watching Frank Vogel coach this team. There are fewer things in life more frustrating right now than watching him coach the Los Angeles Lakers. Because he's always, and I mean always, going to do something that allows the other team an opportunity to win the game. It's not the players 9 out of 10 times. It's him. It's either what he is doing or what he's supposed to be doing that he's not doing. It's always something, man. And today was no exception. He continued to put Stanley Johnson at the 4 while they were running 6'10" Okongwu and 7-foot Capella. How are you going to have any success? And mind you, AD was on the floor, but AD is not a big man in his mind. He grew up a guard. I can't stress this enough. Just because a guy is tall does not mean that he has big man skills. AD does not have big man rebounding skills. He got out-rebounded by those guys. And half of the time when the rebounder was necessary, he was somewhere in the freaking three-point line or the mid-range area when the ball's flying off into the hands of a Hawk. He doesn't think like a big man, so he shouldn't be played as a center. That is what I'm here to tell you guys. He's a 4 through and through. Probably should have been 4 or 5 inches shorter so he would make more sense. But he is not, and that's just what it is. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend with AD. I love his game. So long as we play him in his proper position, which is the 4. Once you start having him out there as a 5, you don't think like a 5. Neither does Bron. They don't think like 5s. They're not looking for the ball in certain situations. They're not looking to box out and keep other guys out of position, especially guys who spend most of their life protecting the rim, spend most of their life bodying people and pushing people around. That's neither one of their game. You think Frank would change his way of doing things after half a season of watching this? No. More than half a season. 3 years of this. No. You know? I just look at the situation. I'm like, okay, most nights I'm happy THT ain't playing. But not on a night when he's shooting 4 out of 5. He didn't hardly miss. And he couldn't get on the floor. Because you want to play Avery Bradley, right? Idiot. I'm tired of this, bro. Like, honestly, people, I am very, very tired of this. It's gotten to a point where I don't even want to be nice at all. I want to start saying stuff how I really feel. And it's like, it would be a lot easier if it were necessary. If it were not necessary. Because Jeannie Buss and the lovely Laker organization could just do what they're supposed to do as an organization who understands they're struggling and start fixing the problems. Fix the problems. You know what I'm saying? And look, all those people were saying Bron is quitting on the team because they want him to fire, because he wants them to fire Frank and they ain't done it. Hell, I supported Bron. Sit. Straight up, I'm that guy. No. If they ain't gonna do right, sit. Because ain't no sense in you go out there but on a busted knee just for this idiot to run around a bunch of small guys while Onyeka Okongwu's catching lobs 10 feet in the air. And he got Stanley Johnson down there trying to guard him. Like, what is this? Seriously. How many times I got to see Trae Young blow past Avery Bradley before you understand he shouldn't be guarding him? And then you put Russell Westbrook on him. First of all, Russell Westbrook ain't never been a defensive player. Not in college, not at OKC, not at Houston, not at Washington, and certainly not here. He does not play defense. Why in the hell is he guarding one of the most potent guards in the league by himself? Trae Young shot right over that man. Hit a three that made the spread from 1 to 4. And we never got back in the game. You gotta put Stanley Johnson on Trae Young. You need your best defensive player on Trae Young in that situation. Any coach in his right mind would make sure that you were either double teaming that man, making one of those people who double team Stanley Johnson, or having Stanley Johnson on him outright in that situation. With Dwight Howard, AD, and a couple of guys down there who can help shoot, like HBK, also known as Austin Reeves, and Malik Monk, who had been hitting shots like crazy. You think he would do that? No. Absolutely not. He had a bunch of guys who were 6'5" down there. And then they continue to rebound, continue to dunk, continue to lay the ball up, continue to shoot. What Frank do? Just look around. Look around. It's fine. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm just here. They haven't fired me yet, so it's obviously fine. It's getting to a point where I'm not even mad at Frank. Now I'm starting to get mad at Jeannie. How long are you going to make us sit through this? Because it's every night now. It's not just, like, I haven't said Frank has had a good game in over 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I said that man had a good game. And before that game, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks before that. Every single night, this man is doing something to give the other team an opportunity to win. Either they're going to walk through that door he opens for them, or they're not. It's up to them. And that's every night. So all these people are saying, oh, Frank is the scapegoat. They ain't watching the Lakers like that. I can tell you right now, Charles Barkley don't watch the Lakers like that. Because if he watched the Lakers as much as I do, he would know that Frank is a big problem. Huge. Massive problem. And it starts with his lineups, and it ends with his lack of imagination as it pertains to the offensive end. He doesn't have it. It's not there. It's like me trying to run an offensive play. That's how it is. Although I think I could come up with something better, honestly. Because I tell you this, I would not give Russell Westbrook the ball with 9 seconds to go, and I certainly wouldn't put Russell Westbrook on freaking Trae Young when he has 35 points. 35 points. I'm out of words, y'all. We had 12 turnovers, which is the same amount we had in the last game. After coming off of 2 games where we scored perfectly from the free throw line, we're back down to the 56%, I think it was, from the free throw. We shot 40-something% from 3, which was excellent, mostly because of Malik Monk. And they didn't shoot well from the 3 at all. But yet and still, what ended up killing us? Their 3-point shot. Why? Same thing I've been complaining about. Russell Westbrook being on him in the last minute. You can't give Trae Young any space. Anywhere around the perimeter, you can't give him space. And obviously, if you play him too much, he runs past you. So understanding that means you have to create a wall around this man. You think we do that? Hell no. But Frank's supposed to be a defensive coach, though, who doesn't respect rebounding, rim protection, size disadvantages, or any of that stuff. You guys are trying to sell me on the fact that he's a defensive coach, when I could argue most of the problems we have are on the defensive end because of the things that he doesn't do in regards to the size of the players that we have on the floor when he decides to make these plays happen. These rotations happen. I don't know if I'm ready to say he's bad as Luke Walton, because I have not forgotten how horrible Luke Walton's rotations were. I think they were slightly worse than this. I really do. But he's down there with him. He's right down there with him. And then I look at LeBron James. I say he's got a bum knee. Dude's 4 months younger than me. I look at AD. He's 1 injury away from being useless himself. We know that. Russell Westbrook's not going to ever do anything that's going to put himself in a position to actually win basketball games. He's going to help you, assist you with the energy that you're not going to find anywhere else. If you need someone to blindly go into the defense and just continue to attack, yeah, for sure. You got a great player right there. But if you're looking for him to do things, actual things that help you, you're looking in the wrong direction. Russell Westbrook is not that kind of guy. He knows how to lose. He does not know how to win. And I blame his coaches, all of them. Every coach that ever coached Russell Westbrook is culpable for what we're seeing out there tonight. Because somebody didn't teach that boy how to respect possessions. Somebody didn't teach that boy how to slow down and read the floor. So we're out here getting the worst of it. Every time he gets the ball in his hands and we're praying to God he doesn't do something that doesn't help us. And most of the time, it's something that hurts us. What else is there to say, man? We're tired. Laker fans is tired. Luckily enough, we didn't see DJ tonight. I was happy about that. I was very happy about that. Because I know even though we're supposed to be talking about size, he ain't going to help. He's a totem pole. He doesn't move. So be real. Dwight, on the other hand, was helpful. As I always say, if you go back and look at any of the videos that I talk about at the end of these games, I always tell you, as soon as Dwight comes in, he gets points and rebounds immediately. It took all of 25 seconds for him to get a rebound and 2 points. He scored on one end, came down and got an offensive rebound immediately. You think he would be rewarded for that? Hell no. He didn't play none in the fourth quarter while these guys were jumping over us. Enough. Fire this idiot. I have had enough of him. It's getting to a point where I don't even want to watch my own team. Because I already know what's going to happen. I told everybody before this game that I didn't think the Lakers were going to win. We were up by 11 at halftime. We're up by 12, I think, in the fourth quarter. We had a lead of 11 or 12 in the fourth quarter. And I knew we were going to lose. You know why I knew that? Because Frank was going to do something to assure that we did. And that he did. On cue. So I always tell people, I hope you listen to me. If you're betting on the Lakers, bet against them. It's a better bet. Because I can guarantee you he's always going to give you an opportunity to get your money. That's a promise. And it's consistent. So that's what I got to say, man. This road trip ended. It's a failure. I think we won 2 games on this road trip. Could have won 4. Won 2. I just wish this guy had some understanding of what he should be doing. Both he and Russell Westbrook, both of them. I wish they had some understanding of what is actually required of this job they have. Russell, you're the point guard, brother. You got to be the one that respects possessions. You can't be the guy coming down shooting bad shots. Because you ain't going to defend on the other end, which means we're going 4-on-5. At best, depending on who else is on the floor. So you can't be doing what it is that you do if we expect to win. You can't win this way, bro. I see why KD ran up out of there, man. He can't win with you. I'm ready to say it. If he was doing stuff like this in Oklahoma City, I would have left earlier. I would have left sooner. I don't know how KD put up with it that long. Ain't no way I would have put up with this nonsense that long. Basketball IQ was not where it needed to be, man. Not where it needed to be. I don't care how easily it is for you to get in the Hall of Fame. Your basketball IQ is about as bad as anybody that's played in this team in a while, fam. And that's the realest thing I'm going to say. And you could be mad at me, you want to sock me in the face, whatever. I'm not a liar, fam. I tell you, I got my own weaknesses in this world. You can watch my videos, you see all of them. I ain't in a good place. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to lie to the American people about what's going on down there. His basketball IQ ain't where it need to be. And neither is Frank's. And that's it, man. Ain't nothing else to it. This is one of the most frustrating losses because we had the lead. And Malik played so well. Anthony Davis was on the floor. And it was all for naught. Because of the same stupid crap that we've been talking about since week 1. We don't respect size. And we have no offensive imagination. That's it. That's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. The Los Angeles Lakers lose the game in Atlanta. And of course, Everybody who was questionable for Atlanta definitely suit up for the Lakers. They gonna definitely make. They weren't feeling good. Maybe if it was the Charlotte Hornets or somebody, they ain't playing. But since we in the house, everybody gonna play. DeAndre Hunter, Trae Young, everybody played. They all look great for the Hawks. Well, at least at the end of through 3 quarters, we had them. I'm through, man. I don't know what else to tell y'all. That's it. Lakers suck. Fire Frank. They ain't gonna do it, so we're gonna continue to suck. I'm pretty sure the next video I make is gonna sound something like this, because it's gonna always be like this, so long as we keep on having the same situation, same coach, same nonsense. And coach, it ain't just a coach. Rob Pelinka. You on the clock, my friend. I kid you not. It's been a long time since we were singing your praises about any damn thing that had to do with this team. And we going into a situation where we've known we've needed size for months now. And you have done nothing to get us a center. My patience with you is starting to come to an end as well. I know you Kobe's guy. We ain't got too many more games like this ahead. Because what we can always say is that our roster sucks. And that's what keeps giving us rope to keep this whack coach. Is the fact that we don't have the size and we haven't been healthy. You need to get us some size right now, man. We really need that from you. I don't care who you get. As long as they're above 6'10" and can rebound and block a shot, that's what we need, bro. Because he going to always be able to run a bunch of 6'5" guys out there so long as Dwight and DJ are the only centers we got. He don't like Dwight Howard, and DJ is no longer someone we can rely on in any way, shape, or form. Period. You got to get us a center to disarm him from this nonsense. We need that. That's all I got, man. I'm going to go try to relax. I don't know. I'm going to try. This team got me revved up. I'm really very unhappy. Very unhappy. Because this was a winnable game. We're losing ground to Portland. They are hot on our tails when Anthony Simons turned into an all-star caliber player right before our very eyes. Dame will be back at some point. CJ just got back. They're getting healthier. Y'all keep toying around, and you're going to find yourselves outside of the play-in tournament with no pick. All of our assets in the toilet, wrapped up in 3 stars. One's my age, the other one's made of brittle, and the other one can't seem to figure out what the hell he should and should not be doing out there. This is on you, Rob. And I hear people saying trade LeBron, trade AD. I would have done it already, low-key. I would have done it already. I'm that kind of guy. I would have traded LeBron and AD 3 weeks ago just to get us some assets, because I know that's the only way we're going to get through this. We can't trade Brody for anything. The rest of our assets, they don't really have value at all. The only assets we really get is through Bron and AD. And if AD goes down with an injury, his value goes down. We can't get what we can for him now. I'd have traded him already. And if you follow me closely, you know that. And I ain't wavered from that. If we trade him tomorrow, I'm not going to cry, because I know that's the only way we're going to get picks and assets. It's the only way. Either you do it now or you come to that conclusion later after we lose this championship situation. For which is absolutely inevitable. Because ain't no way in hell Frank Vogel about to win another championship in this league. That is never going to happen again. You book that. My name is BDL44. I'm going to leave it at that, man. Congratulations to the Atlanta Hawks. I guess I'll give the ball to Okongwu. The game ball goes to Okongwu, even though I would love to give it to Malik Monk. I don't really like giving it to losers. Malik Monk deserves it just the same. But I'm going to give it to Onyeka Okongwu because he was the difference maker out there. He took advantage of the size mismatch. All of their bigs did. Repeatedly. Trae Young does what Trae Young does. So I don't give game ball to superstars. I know what they can do. It's like Bron. I'm going down and I'm looking at guys who overachieve, not guys who do what they're supposed to do in situations like that. And Onyeka Okongwu took it to his hometown team. That's what he did. Shout out to Lou Williams. They're on a 7-game winning streak, them Hawks. Man, I told y'all, that's the best overall team in basketball. They really are. It ain't going to show up in their record, but from top to bottom, player to player to player to player, they have way more talent. Not just more talent, way more talent than everybody else. The only team that even comes close is the Warriors with their strong bench. Nobody else come close to the Hawks. So if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals or they overachieve in these playoffs, it will not be a shock to me, because they by far have the best bench in the Eastern Conference. By far. And I've been telling you that since the summertime. Ain't nothing changed. They're just starting to figure out their rotations now. And that's not a good thing for you, Eastern Conference. Somebody gonna run to them and get knocked off. I'm just letting you know early. So that's what I got, man. Congratulations to the Hawks. I enjoyed watching, their telecast, since that was what the link provided. That was a dope telecast that they had. The whole vibe of the Atlanta arena, everything just felt good. I would have liked to have been at that game. Maybe one day I'll go to Atlanta Hawks game. That's how much I enjoyed this telecast. So that's what I got to say, man. Lakers have done nothing at all to make me feel good about them going forward. Nothing. Shout out to Malik Monk. My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.